No, that was so funny. Like,
We got an email.
yeah, we got an email saying congratulations.
And I never completed hours for this semester.
Okay, so
I got to complete 45.
we are starting with development. No, just kidding. We're starting with learning. Right behind me. Hopefully you guys online can see. It's a little bright. I don't know what's going on with the lighting. Okay, maybe it was just me. Okay, so we're gonna start off with learning. So those of you that have your essential review packet, what page is that?
We don't have pages.
Okay, fine. Where is
It is
it around?
4 pages.
It's at the top. It's the fourth on the back. 1, 2. Like don't count. Like it's be like 4 pages.
Wait,
what if I write page numbers on my phone?
Okay, so learning. Here we go.
Never mind.
I am.
So learning basically is memory over time, where there's a permanent change in people's behavior. So 3 big categories of learning. There's more than just 3, but there's 3 big ones: classical conditioning, operant conditioning, and observational learning. There's still like small ones like latent learning, but we'll talk about that in a second. So remember, anything that's an instinct, that's something that is innate, something that you're born with, is not learned. Those are behaviors, not like I had it and then I unlearned it, like I forgot it. Not that. It's unlearned as in you're born with it. So with classical conditioning, there's something like salivating to meat that you sometimes make an association with something that you've learned. So who are some big names for classical conditioning?
Pavlov.
One more guy? Pavlov did like dogs.
What about John Watts? Skinner?
Not Skinner, that's operant. Watson did the rat with baby Albert, remember?
Yeah.
Okay, so those are both classical conditioning examples. So there's like 2 big names for classical, both Pavlov, dog, and Watson, baby Albert. So it's learning based on association, but classical conditioning is involuntary, meaning the dog is not choosing to salivate. They just are. The baby is not choosing to be afraid of the rat. He just is. So while classical conditioning is involuntary, we're going to talk about operant conditioning being voluntary. So
What's the other name for classical?
Pavlovian conditioning?
No, the other person.
Watson.
Oh, Watson.
Oh, Watson.
But Pavlovian conditioning is another name for classical conditioning because it's named after Pavlov. So if you've seen Pavlovian, there's his name. But that's an I. That's just a synonym for classical conditioning. So we have Pavlov, Watson. But remember, there's all those letters. There's UCS, UCR, CS, and CR. There's also NS, which is before everything starts. So let's see if we can tie these letters to a thing so we remember what they are. At first it says UCS gives you UCR. And then you add NS to the UCS. The NS turns into CS that elicits a CR.
Can we say the word?
Yes. So if this is a story, let's not talk about Watson really quick. Let's talk about Pavlov and the dog. What is the unconditioned stimulus that gave you an unconditioned response before the experiment began?
The bell.
Not the bell. That was after the experiment. The food. What was the natural response to the food? Salivating. Okay. So the stimulus, the unconditioned stimulus, is the food, is the meat powder. That gave you salivation to meat. And then the experiment began. And then you added a neutral stimulus. NS stands for neutral stimulus. What was the neutral thing?
The bell.
That's the bell.
And that's like whenever they rang the bell, then salvation started.
Well, they rang the bell when they were doing what?
And then led to later on.
Yeah, so salivate, like I'm going to ring a bell and then meat. Ring a bell, meat. Ring a bell, meat. Eventually, I'm just going to ring the bell and you're going to salivate without the meat even being present.
Okay.
And so the meat will naturally give you salivation. So UCS is a natural thing that gives you a natural response. And then you add this neutral stimulus, the bell, to the UCS, to the, have we already defined what that is? Unconditioned stimulus, but what was it?
The meat.
Okay, so the meat, or the food, whatever word you want to use. And then the NS, then the bell, turns into a conditioned stimulus. Well, the conditioned stimulus is the bell after the experiment. So it's still the same thing, but it's like pre-experiment and post-experiment. So the bell after association, I'll say.
And then that leads to salivation, which is the condition.
Right, and that leads to salivation to the what though?
To the bell.
To the bell. Okay, not the meat. The salivation to the meat is a natural thing. That is totally okay.
So can you do that to people? Like, you do this experiment with the bell and it would like work?
Y'all do this. I mean, y'all do it.
What do you mean? Or like before lunch when the bell rings, you're like,
Yeah, you like also get up,
Every time you hear the bell.
right? Or but like fifth period teacher, just being around fifth period teacher, and even like on a half day when we don't have lunches and we like leave at like 11:30 or something, you're in fifth period at like 9 a.m. But just being there, you're like, oh man, all of a sudden I'm hungry. It's because that's when you're primed. So that's when you've associated like lunch.
Because I'm always like, on
So.
half days, it's like, I'm so hungry.
Yeah.
Have we had a half day this year?
No.
No, they got rid of them. Well, we started so late
I
anyway.
love half days.
You're
More fun
telling
than,
me.
like, school.
Yeah.
Yeah, no.
Don't they have to get
You
them
don't just
cleared by like
call it
Tomball
something.
police though?
No.
The schedule, I remember Miss Pruitt talked about it. She was like, whenever we have a half day, we have to like tell the police and fire stations because kids do stupid things.
Oh, well, that's probably true. I don't know if we have to approve it by them.
Maybe not approve, but tell at least.
But it is.
Yeah, y'all make really smart decisions when y'all are.
I don't know.
I make smart decisions. I can't speak for everyone else.
Okay. What we labeled it, we should understand what it does. Unconditioned stimulus and unconditioned response are unlearned instincts. Dogs and people will naturally salivate to meat. But the CSs and the CRs are learned. They're learned through an association of some stimulus. They've associated it to the unconditioned things. So even though, like, these letters are less, like there's 3 letters and 3 letters and 2 letters and 2 letters. The 2 letters are things that are learned. So the CS, the CR, all those things were like after the experiment happened, after the association happened, they're the things that were learned. Okay. I don't know if you can see all this. I'm going to erase this. All right, so then there's a few terms associated with classical conditioning. There's extinction, spontaneous recovery, generalization, and discrimination. Okay, extinction is when what goes away.
The control thing is.
It's a conditioned response or
Use
conditioned stimulus?
like Pavlov words.
The
The bell after the experiment.
the conditioned stimulus doesn't elicit the conditioned response
Yeah. Why?
because it's like it's not associated with the unconditioned stimulus anymore.
So like how would Pavlov stop the dog from drooling to the bell?
Just ringing
Stop
the
feeding
bell.
them when they ring the bell.
Stop ringing the
Stop. Not stop ringing the bell.
bell. Okay.
Always ring the bell, but never bring the food. Eventually the bell's not going to mean anything. But basically, yes. Nick was right. Extinction is when the the conditioned response goes away. That the bell, the conditioned stimulus, conditioned response, that the salivating to the bell eventually goes away. Back after extinction. You have to have extinction first before you can have spontaneous recovery, because there's no recovery if it never went away in the first place, if you're constantly salivating to the bell. But eventually it's going to go away. Generalization is, give me an example of something that would generalize for the dog and the bell.
A child seeing a horse and thinking it's a cow.
No, that's, no.
Oh, would it be
That's
like
something. It's something.
So
like
that-
a toaster?
If-
That sounds like a bell.
Or like if the microwave goes off. And then,
Okay.
Like,
A doorbell.
Doorbell, microwave,
It's like
phone
another
alarm.
sound.
Right. So something similar to the what? Use one of these letters.
Similar.
To the natural stimulus.
The conditioned
Conditioned
stimulus.
stimulus.
Yeah, similar response to a similar stimulus. So like if, I don't even know, Like, yeah, if your phone alarm goes off and the dog it's just close enough to the bell sound that the dog starts to salivate, even though that's like, wow, I didn't train them with that sound. I trained them with this other sound, but it's similar enough that they're going to have the same response. That is different than discrimination. Discrimination is similar things do not elicit the same response. So like, you play an instrument that has like, I don't know, like a flute or something that's a bell sounding. What's a, I don't know, not a bell, but something else.
And the dog responds to
A triangle.
A triangle, great example. Ding, ding, and they don't start salivating because it's different, but it's just different enough where I'm thinking like, that's not the same thing. And so like my dog, if I knock on the table or something, he's going to start barking at the door.
Yeah.
But if the doorbell rings on TV, he doesn't bark there because I guess he's associated. The TV is different, it's not the door, but like the knock, that's like, oh, that sounds like it could be anywhere. So discrimination is like this, the similar things don't have a response.
So my dog, he's like bell trained to go outside whenever he needs to use the restroom. And one time like a bell rang on the phone and he like ran up to the door but then looked at me confused. So I don't know
Like,
if
I don't
he
remember
recognized it or he didn't recognize it.
No, he did.
Because he ran up to the door.
Yes. Yeah, that is, well, what's that an example of?
General.
Yeah, that's an example of generalization for sure. Okay. Taste aversion sometimes pops up. This is typically, this is when you've had some sort of like a negative response to, you've had a negative association with some sort of food, maybe with like food poisoning or you got like a stomach bug or something. It's just a specific like type of classical conditioning when you have a negative association with food.
Could it be like a certain place? The
Yes.
same thing?
Yeah.
Cheesecake Factory anymore.
Okay. Well, that's taste aversion.
Okay.
Yeah. Aversion being like a negative association to it.
I got food poisoning
I always want to
from-
go back. It's just
Okay.
I was starting with 3.
All right. Here we have operant conditioning. What's the name here? People name. Big boy name. Skinner. So this is B.F. Skinner. This is Skinner's box. This is all about voluntary learning. Like, I choose to pick up my socks so my mom won't yell at me about laundry. Because I know that she's going to punish me if I don't do this. I choose to raise my hand so I can get a sticker or a piece of meat in Miss Taylor's class. No one, like, involuntarily raises their hand.
Is that why you give chocolate? Because then more people will answer questions?
Yes. Well, I typically will only give those rewards for correct answers.
Yeah.
So, because I don't want participation, I want being correct.
Yeah.
So if I did want participation, then I'd give candy or stickers to anyone that like volunteered to answer. But I want more correct and on track responses.
That's why I don't answer. I could raise my hand because I don't want to be wrong.
What's the worst that could happen?
You don't get chocolate.
Yeah, but what it could be worse.
Pick your
No,
own.
that's not the worst. The worst that could happen is I could punish you.
Or just like just being
I mean,
embarrassed.
you're taking away the chocolate.
Like you have chocolate on your. No, it's not taking away chocolate because you don't have chocolate to begin with.
Opportunity to get chocolate.
Ooh, I love. Like that's like eco.
Opportunity cost.
That's like
No,
eco
no.
combining with psychology, which
I'm
is amazing.
Actually,
I feel like
that stuff isn't bad.
inadvertently like triggered economics, which was awesome. Yeah. So technically, according to economists, I would be taking away chocolate from you.
That's the opportunity cost.
It's the opportunity
Yeah.
cost. Yeah. All right. Thorndike is another name. It's not a big name. He pops up though a lot on AP tests just because he came up with the idea of the law of effect. The law of effect is stupid. Law of effect is obvious. I can't believe that like this wasn't just common sense, but he basically says the effect of our actions affect us.
Wow.
Right. So if we are punished, we won't do it. If we're rewarded, we'll do it more often. He came up with that idea, and now we talk about him like 100 years after he died. Good for him.
Did people not realize that before? Like,
Because they never
somebody's,
put it into
clicked in their
words.
brain.
They never put it into words. And he's like, oh, I said it first. It's mine now. Law of effect. Did it. And people are like, wow.
So smart.
That's all you had to do. All right. So B.S. Skinner's box. Remember, he put the pigeon or the rat in the box and gave them rewards or punishments for doing certain behaviors. So if they pushed on the lever, they get a food pellet. If they pushed a button or something, they might get shocked. So he was using both reinforcement and punishment. Let's talk about the two types of reinforcement. There's positive and negative. Positive means adding something good.
So that's Skinner still?
Still Skinner. Well, this is just operant conditioning in general, but yes, it is Skinner. And negative means to take away the bad.
Can you give an example of that?
Okay, so reinforcement. All reinforcement increases the behavior. Do I have it written down? No, I don't. Okay, but it's fine. All reinforcement increases behavior. If it makes you do it again, I can't spell correctly. So if you reinforce, it increases the behavior. So if you do it more often, you have been reinforced. The question is, were you given something good that you like, or was something taken away bad that you didn't like? So how can I get you guys to do better on your tests?
Test.
No, that's after the fact.
Never mind.
Review day? Or something like that?
Rewarding us.
Wait, what
when
was
we
the
do good.
question?
I can give you guys a pizza party for doing good on your test, doing well on your test. Hey, everyone got an A. You get a pizza party. Am I adding something good or am I taking away something bad?
Adding something.
I'm adding something good. So a pizza party for good grades is positive reinforcement.
Could negative be like taking away an FRQ?
Yes, you guys did so well on your multiple choice. I'm not going to give you, I was going to plan an FRQ. I decided not to do that for you. And everyone would be like, yay. So both of these things are reinforcement. You like both of them. You like pizza party. You also like taking away the FRQ. So I could reward you with primary or secondary reinforcers. Primary reinforcers keep you alive.
Yeah.
These are things that people need. So your job might reward you with food. Like pizza party, I guess would be food. Hopefully your job doesn't reward you with sexual contact. That's another type of reinforcement. Like
It's a bit much.
it keeps you alive. It keeps your species alive. Maybe not you personally, but it's like if you pick up those socks, you know what's in it for you. It's like
That's like
Yeah. While secondary would be like stickers. It would be I don't know, hugs from your mom or whatever. Of course, Freud would be like, ooh, hugs from your mom.
That's so bad that like he thought that.
Well,
But we have many problems with it.
I mean, some of what he says.
Why do we still study him if he was so wrong?
What was
We
it?
still-
It's a monumental
We still study the
person.
founding fathers.
Oh, that's true.
Really
So,
wrong.
just because they had some backwards way of thinking of like, let's own people or let's have mom sex, then like, they still made progress that we still like reap the benefits of today. All right, so
Yeah.
punishment is bad. Positive punishment, negative punishment, doesn't matter. All punishment reduces the behavior. It stops the behavior. All right, so positive, once again, means adding something. But if I'm stopping the behavior, am I adding something good that you like?
No, you're you don't.
I'm adding something bad. Or negative, I'm taking away, but I'm taking away the good.
What's an example of that?
Okay, so I don't want you to be late on your curfew anymore, young lady. You've broken your curfew too many times. That is the behavior that I want to stop. So I'm going to stop. What is something I could add to you to punish you?
You can't go.
Well,
Back in the.
Track you. Put like you on like
Life
360.
Okay.
Or like when a sports team loses and they have to do like extra laps.
yes, extra laughs or extra
The
chores.
punishment hill.
Oh, the bad
We had a bad attitude hill and powder puff and like if
Bad attitude.
I
The
ran
bad
up
attitude.
it.
She was the
We're-
only one.
we're tackling.
Oh, I would have been over there the whole
I did because I would be too rough. So that's a punishment. They're adding something.
Anytime we
True.
talked back to the coaches, they were like, "You're running laps with
If we like talked back to them in class, we're being disrespectful to them. They made
Oh my
us
gosh.
Yeah, they had like a list.
Nikki made me do that because I told her to shut up in class.
What a power trip.
You go so off.
I would go.
Did he make you cry? Did I hear that?
What?
Did he make you cry? I heard
Me
that.
personally?
Yeah.
Oh, he's made me cry many times.
Oh, well, that's not hard.
But
But like,
I'm not just kindergarten, so it's sweet.
so
He
you
broke
like,
my arm too.
oh, that's good. That's good. All right. Anyway. Yes, adding laps, You got to do like push-ups or whatever. But taking away, like saying you can't go out,
That's
would be
good.
like taking away the good. Like, oh, you are punished. Okay, well, what's the punishment? The punishment is I get like a spanking. That's positive punishment. Oh, I get my car keys taken away or my phone gets taken away. You're taking away the good. And so that's negative punishment. So positive just means adding. Whether I'm talking about reinforcements or punishments, positive means adding. Negative means to take away. Doesn't matter if it's reinforcement or punishment. Negative means to take away. It does not mean good or bad. It just means to subtract.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. So shaping and chaining. I guess I'll talk about that first. Shaping and chaining is basically how you. I hate to use the word shape. How you mold the behavior that you want to do. And so this happened, I guess. Emily, can I use you as an example?
Yeah.
Okay, so like let's say Emily is, I want to increase correct answers in economics. And so like that's what I want to do. So I'm not going to just go and like, she's not going to get the right answer right away. She has maybe like, Miss Taylor, is it like this? Is that close? And if it's like close, I'm like, okay, yeah. My eyes go big. I start nodding my head. I'm shaping her, like telling her this is the right way. That's the behavior that I want you to continue. But as soon as she gets like off topic, I'm like, no, are you sure?
Like
I don't know.
retract.
It's basically I'm reinforcing the behavior until I get to the perfect behavior that I want. I didn't want her to get semi-right. I want her to be all the way right. But when she gets close, I'm going to give her a little reinforcement. So I know I'm going to give her little breadcrumbs. So I know she's in the right track. But in the future, after I've gotten her to say the right answer, she's got to say the right answer before she gets any sort of reward. I'm not going to reward her for being close to being right in the future. I'm going to reward her for her all the way to be right. That's shaping. Like the term is successive approximations. What does the word approximations mean? Approximations. Approximate. Say it again.
Close or about.
You're close. You're approximately there. You're
So, like,
close.
once you tell them once, like they should know, like basically.
Well, like I will give you rewards for being close until you hit the mark. And then it's like now you have to do that every time. Like when you're training a dog and they get close to like ringing the bell to go potty, you're like, oh, here's a treat. Good job. But from now on, no, you got to ring the whole bell to get the treat. You can't get close anymore.
Well, it's like you never want to learn. Else you don't get rewarded.
Well, there is learning that happens without reward. Latent learning, which we're going to talk about here in a second, but that happens without reward.
So many different types of
Learning.
conditioning.
I know.
We're learning about learning.
I know.
I don't
Chaining. Oh, hello. Chaining is when you connect different behaviors together. So this is, think of it as like some sort of dog act or like Shamu at SeaWorld. They have to do lots of different behaviors in a row. Each of them were individually learned, but then they chain them together. So now you got to wave at the people. You got to like splash the water and you got to like, bounce a ball on your nose. And then after you do all of those, then you get the reward. So each of those behaviors were trained individually, but if you link them together,
So like
that's
running
chaining.
like a dance routine or something.
Yes. Do you get a reward at the end of your dance
I
routine?
don't know, or like I guess like games too,
Performing.
like
Yeah.
understand all these plays and like.
Yeah, just putting it all together.
Yeah,
Yeah.
my dog can do that too because my dog has started doing like spin, sit, like bang, and all at the same time to try to get the treat.
Yes. Like,
yeah,
look
my
how
dog
great
will
I
know
am.
all the tricks
Uh-huh.
they know. Like, I'll usually just sit, but I always do it in the same order. So now, like, sit, shape,
Right.
roll.
So you chain them accidentally.
Yeah.
Yeah, that happens. Yeah. And so if you want the last one, you kind of have to go through all of them before you can get there.
Like, no, do that.
Right. You're not listening. All right. So there's like, when am I going to reinforce you? Am I going to reinforce you continuously?
This one.
Which means like every behavior, or I can have a schedule of reinforcement, which means like, no, it's not going to be continuous. It's going to be on a schedule. So remember, you can have a variable or fixed schedule, but it can be variable ratio or variable interval, fixed ratio or fixed interval. Okay, so obviously like variable means random.
What did you write? Continuously.
Continuously means equals every behavior.
Okay.
Every behavior you're going to reward. So reward every behavior. While variable means random, fixed means like set amount. But random what and set what? So it can be a random amount of behaviors, a set amount of behaviors, so variable ratio or fixed ratio. It can be a random amount of time, hours, or a set amount of time or hours. So it could be variable interval or fixed interval. Now let's talk about variable ratio. How do I want to do this? Variable ratio, variable interval, fixed ratio, and fixed interval. So there's 4. Those of you that are online, you have the ability to like text and type if you have questions, if you want me to like go over something. And thanks for the one person who gave me the thumbs up. I appreciate that. Okay. Like and subscribe. Hit that bell for notifications, and don't forget to comment below on the things you want to see in my upcoming videos.
University kiss.
Not clinical psychology. That just didn't happen. Whatever. Okay. So that's why the internet exists, and I'm not the only source of information. So go figure it out, college students. All right. So we got variable ratio. I get rewarded every random amount of behaviors. I have to do something. I can't just not do something. I have to do a behavior, but it's totally random. Sometimes I do it, I get a reward. Sometimes I don't do it. Sometimes I do it, I get a reward. Sometimes I do it, I don't get a reward. Like what? Slot machines. All gambling is a variable ratio. Gambling. You have to play to win. You have to buy a ticket. You have to play the slot machine if you want to win. So you have to do the behavior. So that's why it's a ratio, because you have to do the behavior, but it's random. What about fixed ratio? So like it's a set amount of behaviors. Every 3 times I do something, every 5 times I do something, I get a reward.
Every 5.
Every 5. Oh, little punch cards.
Yeah. Every 9th smoothie, I get 1 free, something like that. And so a punch card, a frequent flyer, frequent shopper card or whatever, that is going to be a fixed ratio. I have to buy the smoothies. If I want 1 for free, I got to buy 9 first. I got to do the behaviors, but it's not like a surprise. Like I know when that smoothie is coming. So a punch card. How'd you do? Oh, okay, so you go, kids.
It was hard.
It was really hard.
Most of it is
Cry for
me, Miss Taylor.
I will cry for you later.
It's just guesses based on vocabulary.
That's fine. Guesses are good. Can I take your question though?
Oh, yeah. I didn't know if we were allowed to write on it.
Oh, you're fine. Thanks, Hubba.
Is that the FRQ that Tristan and Aiden were talking about yesterday?
Yeah.
Can I see it?
Later. Okay.
Grade it in this ball.
All right, let's do variable interval. Variable interval. Variable means random. Interval means time.
Random time.
Yeah. So like still random,
It's like
but like random
drug
amounts of
test.
time on a clock. What?
Like a random drug test. You don't know when you're getting
Ooh.
it done.
I don't have to do any behaviors to do a drug test.
Yeah.
I like that.
Hey!
That's a really good example. A random drug test.
Where's the reinforcement
Random.
of it?
Yeah.
You don't get caught?
Well, then you would get.
But okay, is that a reward?
Well, I mean, if you pass and you're positive, it's like, no, nice job.
Nice job. Okay.
Could it be?
I was gonna say like notifications on your phone.
Oh, it does.
Like,
Yeah.
it's
Yeah.
Like,
Because that is a reward.
It is.
Drug testing is like,
It's bad. Hey, you get to get out of class.
that's true. I've actually never been drug tested in my
I was
entire
drug
life.
tested
Not even
4
for, like, a
times.
job?
big drug
I know.
test teachers.
Really?
They
Drug
drug
test
test if a teacher is a coach who drives a bus.
Coach McQuarrie.
So you could do drugs and they wouldn't ever get caught.
Unless I
Grown
get like
up.
arrested.
Grown up.
Um,
Don't get caught.
Yeah, that's a
Don't
kind of
do
big
drugs.
gamble.
Smarter, not harder.
We're joking.
You know, I am a mother as well. So what kind of mother is all like, hey
Moms have
kid.
fun too.
Don't do drugs.
All right, what about fix the interval? Set amount of time on a clock. Every 2 weeks, every 5 days, once a
Your
year.
birthday.
Birthdays, really good job. Birthdays, that's a reward.
Birthday.
Allowance.
Is that true?
If it's like every month.
Do you
Like a
have to
paycheck?
Allowance.
do you have to do anything to get an allowance?
Like a
No.
paycheck.
Well,
Yeah, a paycheck would be right.
You live.
You have to work to get a paycheck.
Not if your salary.
Oh.
I get paid during the summer, and if I sat there every day and like did nothing and just played YouTube videos, I make the same amount as I
No,
do now.
some teachers do that.
Mr.
I know.
Miss Marshall.
Oh my God, we're not calling names.
Well, okay, then the
We're not
teacher
doing
that-
names.
The teacher that I know got fired and doesn't work as a teacher anymore. He's a cop now.
yeah, well, my God.
Let's not talk about anybody else. Let's talk about observational learning. What name do we know of?
Bandura.
Albert
Bobo
Bobo. Bobo doll. Okay. We learning by observation. We learning by watching other people. Hooray. Monkey see, monkey do. Okay, that's literally it for observation learning. Oh, also it's called modeling. You see that term? Modeling.
Why is there like not just one word for it? Like, why do they just make it so complicated and have the same words mean the same thing?
Because that's how vocabulary works. There are synonyms
But why?
and then antonyms.
Yeah. it's
Because
English.
have you read 1984?
No, I didn't.
I
Oh.
read a different book.
Okay. Well, if you read 1984, you would have realized that as soon as we limit the amount of words that we have in our vocabulary, we also limit our thinking and our ability to have thoughts and to like ration and be logical.
Oh, that's why smart people know big words.
That is correct.
Okay.
They have the ability to also think about things in a different way than people that have a limited ability because they have those words that they can actually use in
narrow
their
and
brain. And so that's why it's important to have a bigger vocabulary because not only are you well spoken, you also can think about things better. Okay, so Wolfgang Kohler, we talked about him for like a split second. Insight learning, do you remember what insight learning was? Is this on your packet?
No.
Yes, it is.
Oh, is it the parents?
No.
It's just chimpanzee, so I was guessing. You know what I'm talking
Oh,
about?
there it is. There it is.
Aha.
Okay.
The aha
It is the aha moment. When you suddenly realize like how to solve a problem, you suddenly have understanding of why something is funny. So remember, he used chimpanzees to test their insight learning. He gave them. Do you remember the video that I showed you about the monkey spitting in the tube to get the peanut?
Mm-hmm.
Like the peanut rose to the top, and he was using
No,
water
he
as a
was put
tool.
water
Oh,
to
that's
get
cool.
Yeah. So that's insight learning. The like aha moment of I figure it out. So if you randomly had an FRQ recently, and you're like all of a sudden you're like, oh, I get it, I understand, I know how to answer
That
this
doesn't
question.
Oh.
Not in economics.
I get that on the multiple choice from economics. Like, oh, I'm dumb. I got
It's like
it.
Okay.
I go back because like when a question like help you with another.
I watch like octopuses do escape rooms, and then they have that moment where they're like, "Oh, that's how
Yeah.
I do it."
And then they like take a tool and like use it
also
to.
feel like when
They're
someone
really
tells
smart.
you or explains
They
something
like
to you,
press
you're
a
like,
button, and
oh.
then like. the
That's
lights
not
go
insight
off,
learning.
Like, get out.
Insight learning is when you figure it out. You have like a moment of
Or
clarity.
which, like, clothing
Yeah.
didn't do it.
It could be a trial and error example of like going through a maze and you're all like, oh wait, oh okay, now I totally get it. But it's also, I don't know.
Like you do like corrections and then you're like, oh, no. Will that be
Yeah,
it?
but that could also be hindsight bias. This
Well, it's
is,
not the thing where you're like, I knew that.
Yeah. but like you didn't.
You didn't. Yeah.
Okay, late learning, we were talking about this earlier, is like, do we really learn if we don't get rewarded? Yeah, with late learning. So Edward Tolman, we didn't mention his name before, but it's not his name super important, but it might help you lead you into the right question or the right answer in a question. He did an experiment with a maze running rats, and they didn't initially get a reward. Like they didn't get cheese or they didn't get a treat at the end, and they didn't seem to learn. Like they just kind of wandered around. But then as soon as so they got to like free run in the maze and they didn't seem to making any progress. So he took them out and then put cheese at the very end. And like they could smell it and they went right there. They had been learning the maze the whole time. Like he didn't realize that they learned the maze because it looked like they were just kind of walking all over the place and they weren't figuring it out. But once they got a chance to demonstrate their learning, turns out that they had learned the whole time. So like basically this is class. Like I'm saying things and we're talking about it, but I don't really know that you're learning until I give you a chance to demonstrate. Like, have you learned? Yeah, like a quiz or a test or some sort of assessment where it's like, okay, show me that you learned. And now you have a chance to demonstrate it and now you can. So he came up with the idea of cognitive map. It's just specific towards that one experiment that he did. These rats had a map of their maze in their head and had been, formulating the map and understanding the map as they're going through, but they didn't have a chance to demonstrate their knowledge of the map until the end. All right, so that's later. We'll do cognition another day, but we still have to talk about development. Let me find where that is. You guys find it in your packets?
It's on page. Okay. I'm clicking my pages.
You leaving me stuff here?
It's on page 13.
Okay, the page number not numbered.
I know.
Hey, Grace. Hi, great example punch card for the fixed ratio. Okay, where is it? Development. Okay, it's at the bottom of like 2 pages back further. It's at the bottom. Okay, so when we talk about development, first we got to talk about, are there big names first? Okay, yeah, there are. Anyone remember who studied cognitive development? If you know one name for development, it's this dude. Hold on, where do I get the packet thing? Because I don't have you on Schoology anymore. Grace, are you face-to-face or are you TBS, Grace?
It's under.
I can send you a link. I can share it with you. But I have physical hard copies, Grace. You're face-to-face? Okay, just stop by my classroom anytime and I can give you a copy. Oh, Grace, I know that you're face-to-face. You're in my husband's classroom during 5th period. I am so dumb. Wow. Bricker.
Oh.
Yeah. I can come by your room tomorrow. Okay, I'll be here. All right, so, okay. Guy whose father developmental psychology. He's French. He likes to wear jeans. Okay, fine.
Yeah.
Oh, no, that's not even the first one. Guy. Jean Piaget?
That's what I was trying to say, but I said
Okay.
it really wrong.
Yes.
I said Piet.
Oh, I didn't know what you said. I thought you were having a stroke. No, he's French. Jean Piaget.
Yeah.
Piaget.
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 Nope. Piaget. What?
Nothing.
Okay. Eric Erickson. I feel like, what happened? Was I sick, Eric Erickson? I feel like I did not. I don't know. I know that I taught. Where was I? I forget. Was I quarantined? I don't even know. Okay, so Eric Erickson, Jean Piaget, there's the guy. So he studied cognitive development. Eric Erickson, he studied psychosocial development, mainly focused on the word social here. It's only called psychosocial because he was a student of Freud, and Freud is all about psycho and analytic theory, and so like Erickson kind of took that psycho part and applied it to his theory, but it's mainly about social development. His had all the verses. Eric Erickson, do you remember all the verses?
Trust versus mistrust.
Okay, are you just looking at that?
Yeah.
Oh man. Okay,
Where
for the test, you need to know these.
Wait, where is it?
all of them?
Where is it?
There's, yeah.
Number 9.
Oh, I'm running it for nothing.
Okay, so yes, trust versus mistrust, autonomy versus shame and doubt, initiative versus guilt, industry versus inferiority, identity versus role confusion, intimacy versus isolation, integrity, generativity versus stagnation, integrity versus despair. Did I do it?
Yes.
I wasn't even reading. Y'all weren't even paying attention. I
Yes,
did
we
that
were.
all.
Trying to figure
I
out.
was paying attention.
Okay.
I was following along.
But did you know that I wasn't reading? Were you impressed? Okay.
I was very impressed. You did
Thanks.
in order to, I think.
It's only like I teach this. All right, so Kohlberg. Yeah, I must have been gone for Kohlberg because I don't remember talking about moral development at all.
Where is
Yeah, it's like jumping everywhere.
Okay, this was just the big names, and then we're gonna go deeper. Kohlberg, he had the like, do you like throw the trolley switch? Do you kill the driver or do you kill the
Oh, we talked about this because there's a movie, a TV show.
The Good Place?
The Good Place. And
Yes.
it has
Oh, we
this
did.
situation.
Did I show you that
Yes.
clip? Okay, I did
Yes.
show you that. Okay, Mary Ainsworth, she did that experiment about the doctor's office kind of like thing. Do you remember that? It's called The Strange Situation.
No,
It's PJ.
Y'all are just trying to-
PJ is 10, 9 is Erickson, and the other 2 are on here.
PJ is 10? Oh.
No, Mary Ainsworth is on here.
No,
She's number 6.5.
What about
6B.
Kohlberg?
Kohlberg? Uh, 11.
Thank you.
Okay.
Oh my god. So, okay. Kohlberg is the one that's like,
The Good Place.
Okay, so on 11, that's Kohlberg, it's moral development. So like, his 3 stages of development are pre-conventional, conventional, post-conventional. But we're gonna
Yeah.
get, you know what, let's just stick here. And then we'll just pass it up later. Okay, so let's stick with Kohlberg and then we'll skip around to John PJ in just a second, but Kohlberg. Okay, technically he didn't use the trolley example, he used another example called the Heinz dilemma. Do you remember the Heinz dilemma? It is like, man's wife is dying and there's a druggist in the town that has the medicine,
Oh, do you
but he can't
steal-
afford the medicine. So it's like, do you steal the medicine to save your wife or do you just let her die?
Yeah.
So, yes. Okay, but pre-conventional morality would be like people do things. Let me write this down. This is under Kohlberg, so let me get rid of Ainsworth here in a second.
Oh, yeah, there's pre-conventional.
Okay, fine. I can't write it. Okay. Yeah, so there's pre-conventional for Kohlberg. Pre-conventional would be you do things to avoid punishment or you do things to get a reward. That's how they make decisions. I don't want to steal because if I steal, what are they going to say?
You're in trouble.
I'll get in trouble. I'll get in trouble if I steal. So I'm not going to steal the medicine because I will go to jail and I don't want to go to jail.
what if you love your wife?
Conventional, they follow the rules a little bit differently. They don't question whether like to get a reward or punishment or anything like that. They follow the rules because rules are rules and rules are meant to be followed. So like, I'm not going to steal because stealing what
Is
It's
unlawful.
against the law.
is against the law. A pre-conventional would be like, I don't want to go to jail. While conventional is like, well, it's against the law. Like, why shouldn't you speed?
He's against the law.
It's against the law. Or who would say, because I don't want to get a ticket.
Pre-conventional.
Pre-conventional.
That's-
I don't want to get a ticket. It's pre-conventional. This is how kindergartners make decisions.
Yeah, I remember that.
Okay, why shouldn't you why should you strike the speed limit? Oh, because it's a speed limit sign and it's against the law to speed. Post-conventional makes up like they judge their moral decisions based on some sort of universal truth and some sort of like just like a bigger idea than them. So why shouldn't we speed? My earring just
I
fell
just
out.
saw that like slowly falling.
That is crazy. Okay. Hello. Why shouldn't we speed?
Safety.
Safety. Your right to getting workplaces faster is not bigger than my right to have a safe experience on the road. So like I do not have the right to speed and make other people unsafe and risk the lives of other people. That's what a post-conventional morality person would say.
So like mature.
Yes, but like Lawrence Kohlberg's research of how he developed these theories,
Yeah.
he only studied young, affluent American males.
Oh.
So it's very biased.
It's very biased. This is not how women make decisions. It's not how people from other cultures make decisions. It's not how people that live in poverty make decisions. And it's not how like older adults make decisions. It's just
like
basically
white male.
young, rich, white males.
Yeah.
So that's everybody, right? Yeah.
According to him.
Yeah, according to him. Okay. I don't know what's next here. Okay, this goes on to Mary's Ainsworth attachment. So remember, this was all about you leave the baby in the room. You remember how we watched that video?
Oh.
Leaves, mom comes back, how does the baby react? How does the baby respond?
And it was like if the baby cries when she leaves or whatever, that means she was like good or something.
Well, all babies cry. It's how the baby is. Can the baby calm down?
Like if she can like comfort her.
Yes, if the baby feels comfort in the reunion with the mom, then the baby has a secure attachment. I don't have the word. Oh, I guess I have secure. Secure attachment forms when the caregivers are consistent. Like, why are the babies like calm? Those caregivers have been consistent with meeting the baby's needs. If the baby has an insecure attachment, then the baby is like, can't calm down. They can't calm down. They cannot feel the security that the mother is bringing them. Okay, but those that have secure attachments, they become well-adjusted adults because they learn that they can see their mom or just someone, a caregiver, as a secure base, and that gives them security in the future relationships. And they just they're just better at relationships. All right, do you remember Harry Harlow?
Yeah, that was the monkeys, and like one was like a hard like metal one, and the other one was like the soft one, right? And then like
Which one had food?
The one that
The metal one.
The metal cold
But like
one.
when they put him back with all the friends or whatever, he was like alone and was like couldn't talk.
Yeah. Did that scar you?
It was so sad. Like that made me
It's
so
really traumatizing because you think that monkey's life is like affected forever.
Like seeing
Yeah.
animals sad or
But like you get that. That's how children live all the time,
Yeah, and
all
that's
around the
depressing.
world now.
But it's a monkey.
It's a human person
That's
with like a soul and like feelings, and they live much longer than a monkey. So that damage will be happening for much
But the
longer.
monkey can't say no.
And the baby's gonna say no. No,
Yeah.
Mom, stop hitting me.
One day.
Oh my God, no. Okay, yes. So it was all about contact comfort as opposed to like body nourishment. It had nothing to like comfort and body contact was much more important in development and social development than food.
contact versus what?
Contact versus nourishment. So when it comes to social development, contact did a lot more than just food. Someone is Mr. Abacho. Who's that? I know that name. I remember like whoever that was following me. I remember like the follow. But whoever's just said, hello, Miss Taylor. This is an old student.
Followed on one.
I remember the follow on YouTube. But someone
Oh,
just
the
commented.
subscriber?
Yeah. Like someone must have been like, the person that you subscribe to is like live. And now I don't know who it is. It says, hi, Miss Taylor. I want to say thank you for sparking my love in economics. And that didn't happen for this year. And giving me a good major to go along with my history major. So you're majoring in eco? It's good to hear. I hope I know who that is. Okay. Well, then when their username is not their name. All right. Diana Bowerman, whatever. She has 3 different types of parenting styles. Permissive, authoritative, authoritarian.
Do you see it?
It is on here.
Number 7.
Yes. Okay. What type of parenting style do you want to have?
Oh, there was like 2. they were all
Authoritative.
Authoritative. How's that different than authoritarian?
Because we're here like my rules, my house. My
Yes.
house.
Yes.
Do that.
And then like your kids are gonna rebel.
Right. And they're also not going to have very much like not respect, self-confidence in their own ability.
Yeah, they seek it from others.
What about how's permissive bad?
You
Do
can
whatever
basically
you
walk
want.
all over your parents.
Oh, it's Mateo. Hey, Mateo.
There's no,
It is
no
Mateo.
rules.
No rules, but why is that bad?
Because they can just do whatever they want. They're going to go, like, most likely the wrong path.
Yeah, but they also still are
There's
not very
no
self-confident
stability.
because they kind of have to like raise their own. And
Okay.
so they don't have the support and the communication that authoritarians, authoritatives, I can't speak today, authoritatives bring to their children.
They made those words too similar.
They did. I apologize for that. I mean, if you think of it like, do you know your government types?
Yeah, authoritarian.
Authoritarian, authoritative government.
That's smart.
All right. Fine.
John Locke, that's like government.
Yes, okay. Do you remember what John Locke said?
Yeah. Oh my.
Okay, what's
Is
tabula
it the
rasa?
natural laws? Or
Yeah, but what's tabula rasa? Do you know tabula rasa?
No, I
Got
don't
like a
know.
clean slate.
It means clean slate. Okay, so like when it comes to our development, like what affects us more? Our nature or our
Oh,
nurture?
nature versus nurture.
Yes, but like John Locke, if he thinks that we're born with a clean slate,
Nature.
he's saying what?
Is it?
It's the very beginning of development. Well, never mind. No, it's not. It's the nature.
It is
versus-
nature's versus nurture.
Okay, yeah.
Yes, but if John Locke is saying tabula rasa that we are born with a clean slate,
And
then
it's
what is writing on the slate?
how you're being nurtured then?
Yes, he is a strong believer in nurture, not nature. If we're born clean, then we're born without, the genetics and all that, and they're not playing a role. We're born with a clean slate.
But didn't we talk about like how like those like triplets or like twins or whatever like separated? and
Right.
they're the same?
And so maybe your John Locke's not super right here
Yeah.
because
It is nature.
okay, so if you have to pick, hereditary like genes and DNA are going to have more of an effect. So if you have any questions that are talking about like who's going to be more similar, these two twins that were raised in separate households, or these two kids that were raised in the exact same household but have no blood relationship, it's the two twins. The twins are going to be more similar in everything, in like IQ, in like a creativity, in their height, in their like of spicy food or not spicy food. They're going to be more similar in those things. If they share, the more blood they share, the more DNA they share, they're going to be more similar.
That's interesting.
Yes. So continuity versus discontinuity. Did we even talk? Where's PHA? Hold on. I just want to make sure that we're going to talk. Yeah. Okay. I saw him in like the people to know, but I did want to make sure. But I'm going to speed up here. Okay. So all those stages: pre-conventional, conventional, post-conventional, all of Erickson stages, all the verses, PHA stages we're about to get into. They all talk about that development happens in stages. That everyone that's 3 is like this. Everyone that's 10 is like this. So they all talk about
Was that the
Development
oral and
being-
anal?
that's Freud.
Oh.
But then we're talking about like PHA. Do you remember like sensory motor, pre-operational,
Yeah,
concrete?
continuity versus
That's
stages.
PHA. But all they say is they talk about stages.
Who's
Stages,
Them.
them.
In general.
Stages in general
Oh.
says that development is discontinuous. It's in chunks. It's in stages, like going up a ladder. But the more we study this, the more we realize, hey, that it's continuity instead. You're checking to make sure my attendance is good?
No, it's just, your verbiage surprised me with continuity versus discontinuity. Because in WAP, we say continuity versus change.
Oh, that is a cross-curricular connection that I did not know that we shared.
Yeah, we do continuities and changes. CCOT, continuity and changes over time.
We just do C versus D. And D is wrong.
Change in my head though.
Yeah, me too, because we
'Cause
read
like
that
when
so
she's-
much last year.
I
Oh,
was thinking change this
Me
whole
too.
time.
Because APUSH and WAP do continuity and change.
yeah. Well, what does discontinuous mean?
Stopping
Yeah. What does continuous mean?
the change.
But all of these talk about this and talk about how right this is. But the more that we talk about how right this is, we realize that they're wrong.
So it is it's
Like
continuity.
there's more research that says like development is gradual. Development is not the same for everyone. There's not particular stages for like a 3-year-old or a 5-year-old, but all of the studies say that it is. But the more we realize that, the more we realize that these are wrong. I mean,
What is
PHA,
AP test
this is
date?
like 1950s. This is like the early 1900s. I feel like this is 1950s as well. We've changed since then. We realize we understand more.
So does the AP test say to discontinue or?
No, they're going to say the more we realize it, the more we realize they are wrong.
Okay.
Yeah. I mean, but think about like, it doesn't matter that they're wrong. What grade are you in?
Grade 12.
Love it.
What is that based off of?
The more guy.
Your age.
Yeah.
It has nothing to do with your
That's why
like
there's different
actual.
levels of stuff,
Right.
right?
That's like, we assume that you guys, all 12-year-olds should be able to do this.
That's why
Oh, but
people
then
are,
that's why there
smarter
used to be like
behind,
now
like-
there's AP classes and stuff.
Yeah.
Like
And that's why there's like different level reading groups in like elementary.
Because
GT.
people don't develop at the same rate. But then we treat them as if they do,
that, even though they don't.
even though they don't. Yeah.
It's tabula rasa.
Blank slate.
So I need to put that down.
Were you a fan of watching Lost?
Not ever.
Oh, never mind. I was gonna make a Lost connection. Is anyone
What's
a fan of Lost?
Is that the island?
Yeah.
I think I've seen that. Me and my dad watched it. Like,
Okay.
It's like 8 seasons in the island.
13.
Yeah. Okay. So there's a lot. So I was
Yeah, there's a lot.
People
I
stop
watched
watching after 8.
Some people,
I
some
watched
people
it
watch
all.
the whole series like 3 or 4 times. Either way,
Who
there's
watched
a there's a guy on the
That's impressive.
there's a guy in the show whose name is John Locke as a character. The second episode is called Tabula Rasa, and it's his backstory.
Interesting.
So there's a
2
connection.
and 2.
I know.
But tell me, John Locke, what does that have to do with clean slate?
What if you are born with a clean slate? What does he think is more important, nature or nurture?
Your unalienable rights.
No.
That's what it sounds like
He said
government.
more things than just for government. Like he would believe that your nurture writes the story that becomes who you are, and what came before you is not.
I didn't realize he philosophized on other things besides government.
Well, you know that psychology used to be a philosophy, and economics also used to be a philosophy, which is why they come from like the same. They have lots of connections.
Yeah.
So by taking psychology away,
You know,
you break my heart.
every time I've interviewed someone, now we've interviewed maybe 5 or 6 people, and we ask them like, what's your passion? What would you want to teach? Oh, I'd love to teach anything except for economics. I don't want economics on the table.
And that is my job security right there. No one wants to teach this class.
boring as math.
It's hard.
It's exciting and interesting. And there's juniors in here. You bite your tongue.
Hey, it is. I will give you this. It's honestly the most interesting class I've had this year. It's just like I don't like classes that I'm not good at.
But you are. You've got like an A. Oh, I don't know. I haven't seen it. I just assumed it was really
Oh, I
good.
wish it wasn't.
Bye, Galen. Hey, let's talk about prenatal development. Oh, that's right. I remember
Hey,
now.
that's passing.
Hey, C's get degrees.
Yeah, I got an F.
B's get degrees. F's don't get degrees.
Well, it
D
wasn't
and
enough
F's
at
like
the
the same thing.
It literally is not.
I thought it is.
Do 1 point
It's like a
difference,
C is a 70 something.
A
And, like-
D is a 70 to a 74. A C is a 75
See, I always imagine
Five
to
an 80. It's to a 79.
Oh, I thought it.
That always
I've
confused
never.
me.
I guess I got our grading so
Well,
wrong.
yeah, but like in college, a D is a 60 to a 69. You don't fail until you get less than a 60.
Yeah, that's what
Really?
it used to be at
College.
college school. It was like,
Yeah.
At
we
my
have a
old
different
school, an
grading
A started at a 94. At Salem was awful.
Oh my God. All right. Zygote, cluster cells, embryo. I'm a liver now. Fetus. I have blood. I don't know. Just those are the steps of prenatal development. All right. So teratogens are things you cannot do while you're pregnant, like
Oh,
Drinking.
smoking,
eating
Eat
certain
fish.
things.
Yeah.
Except fish.
high levels of fish on the food chain.
Iodine.
No shark fin
there's-
soup.
There's something with fish that is like that. That's
Yes,
iodine.
it's
It's not iodine. It's something.
It's the high level.
It's
Of-
mercury.
mercury. Yeah, it is mercury. Okay. Also, like, don't sleep on your side or like eat soft cheeses. No goat cheese for you or feta. Yeah. HIV and AIDS, obviously. The fetal alcohol syndrome is the #1 birth defect, and it's like totally avoidable. Don't drink while you're
I
pregnant.
feel like that's like everyone knows that. Like, don't drink. How is that? The most.
People don't listen to it.
Yeah.
Yeah, but like everyone.
My body, my choice. I don't know. No, that's not true. I have a friend who is a lawyer. Not a friend. She's my cousin. I mean, I guess she's my friend, but like she's my cousin, and she's a lawyer, and she drank while she was pregnant. She'd have a glass of wine or 2 at dinner
Every day.
every day.
She realized what was in wine.
I don't know. She.
Does
I
her
mean,
child have fetal
her child's fine. Oh. What is a physical aspect of someone with that fetal alcohol
Their face
syndrome?
looks
It's like
Their eyes are like
Farther
further
apart.
apart.
yeah.
They're like.
Yeah, they got like a hammerhead shark
They have like
going on.
developmental issues too. Like right? like other issues, like hard.
Well, but
learning
like
issues.
physically,
Oh.
you can be like,
Yeah.
check out the mom
My
alcoholic over here.
Yeah, my
Yeah.
brother's friend has some.
Oh.
It's like
Yeah,
One of us.
yeah, where you're like scanning the room like this. Doo-doo. Doo-doo. Okay, that's a hammerhead shark sound. All right, so what are some reflexes? We got the rooting reflex, which is what?
the cheek thing.
Yes, touch a baby's cheek, they're going to turn their head and open their mouth. What are they looking for?
No.
Boo. Swimming reflex, obviously that's in that. There's also the Moro reflex. You remember the Moro reflex?
Like,
Yeah, like their arms and their legs go like out when they have like loud sounds or they're falling. Their like arms and legs go out. There's also the Minsky reflex. It's the toe thing. You take like a pen or something and you stroke the bottom of their toe. Their toes will fan. Sorry, they stroke the bottom of their feet. Their toes will fan. All right, so moral development. At 3 months, they're reaching for things. At 7 months, they're sitting up. At 11 months, they walk. So around a year old, they are walking. Twins, identical twins, will learn how to walk on the same day.
Really?
Mhm.
Always or just like sometimes?
For the most part. Within 24 hours of each other.
Is it just they see one doing it and they do it? Or just
No, it's like development maybe has something to do with genetics. You know, because they share genetics and like they're developing.
just think like maybe one can see more like
Okay, here's Eric Erickson. All the verses. Oh God. Here we go. I'm gonna do this quickly. I mean, you got it written down, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. Mom, please be there for me when I cry. Otherwise, I will have. If you are, I will learn basic trust. If like of the world and the world is safe. If you're not, like I'm gonna distrust people. Autonomy versus shame and doubt. They're gonna say the word no a lot because they're trying to make their own choices. It's all about choice making. Okay. Initiative versus guilt. They want to explore. They want to like do it themselves. I hate that I did that. There's a parentheses and a quotation, so you guys figure it out. So they want to do it themselves. Let me do it, Mom. Industry versus inferiority. This is school. Like, are you going to feel like inferior to your peers because you're not very good at school, or are you like mastering the industry that is education system? Identity versus role confusion. Who am I? That's you guys right now. Y'all are in that stage. Next up is intimacy versus isolation. Searching for a love partner. So searching someone that you can be, you can have intimacy and what's the other word? Self-disclosure, I guess. When you like talk about things to that person that you don't talk about to anybody else. Generativity versus stagnation. This is also about the next generation. Focusing on children.
Thank you.
You're welcome. And last but not least, integrity versus despair. Looking back at your life with reflection. Think about Carl in Up.
That's so sad.
I know.
I don't want to get to integrity versus despair.
What's the opposite? What? You either die young.
I'd rather die like during.
You can have integrity. Like you can have success here.
Yeah, but I don't want to reflect on my life. That's like sad, like, oh, it's coming to an end soon.
No, they say that the fear of death decreases as you get older. After the age of 60, fear of death goes down.
I'm not scared to die. I'm just scared of like knowing I'm gonna die.
But you are gonna die. You know that now versus
But
later.
I'd rather die like now than later. Like I'd rather die like happy and young than old and sad.
Here for a good time, not for a long time.
Yeah. I'm kind of excited to die.
Aiden.
Just not because I want to die, but because I'm excited to know all the secrets of the universe.
Okay.
So I feel like
That's assuming a lot about death.
I'm just gonna keep on assuming that, and then I'll be excited.
But what if there's nothing?
Well,
Like-
I mean, then it doesn't hurt.
What if it does?
Well,
That could be very painful.
then I'll have to deal with that later.
But you said now.
Well, not like now. Just like whenever it happens. It
Oh my
happens.
God. Okay, I'm gonna be thinking about you on the way home. Let's wrap you up in bubble. Okay, we got sensory motor, pre-operational, concrete, and formal operational. Oh my gosh, this is never ending. All right, so sensory motor, this is all Piaget. This
I
is how,
remember this.
yes, this is, okay, so like Erickson's really big in this unit and Piaget's really big in this unit. those are the, if it's a question about development, it's going to be one of those two guys. Okay, so John Piaget, it's all about thinking. It's cognitive development and how our thinking changes. So sensory motor, very beginnings of life, we are experiencing our world through our senses. What are we doing with everything?
Like putting it in our mouth.
Yeah, that's the sense we're using. We're grabbing it, so we touch it, but then we also like, let me see if I can ingest this as
And
well.
that's when like peekaboo.
Yes, because they have, what is that called?
Object.
They lack object permanence, right? They lack, oh, it's right here. Object permanence. They also have stranger danger, stranger anxiety. So, they're gonna hold on to mom as you're like waving to them at the grocery store. Pre-operational, this is gonna be preschool age. They're egocentric. What does that mean?
It means they can't take like another person's perspective.
Meaning I can see the board just fine, Nick. I'm 3 years old. I think, yeah, 3. I'm 3 years old. I can see the board just fine, which means everybody can see the board just fine. Because from my perspective, I can see the board just fine. They also believe that inanimate objects have feelings, like clouds are sad, or this rock is happy. I don't know why a rock would be happy. Cloud being sad, that makes sense. Because they cry and it rains. Concrete operational, okay, they're beginning to think logically, but and now they understand the conservation. They didn't understand it back here. Remember conservation?
Like if it was spread out, and then
Yes.
it was more.
The quarters that were spread out was like, now it's more the water in different tall glass. It's like, oh wow, there's more liquid now. But now concrete, they can think concrete, logical, they understand. While formal, they can think abstractly. They can do hypothetical situations. They can talk about dystopian futures, or what would the world be like if, people didn't die? Like, what kind of problems might that cause? Over, of course, Aiden.
Everyone would be depressed if they didn't die.
Do you think so?
It would get boring if you could do everything. Then it's like, what else is there to do?
So then the afterlife is boring.
That's why it's just like you're looking at everything.
Maybe. All right, we talked about Lawrence Goldberg already. Okay. Do y'all want to look at? I have multiple choice questions. Would you just like me to assign, and then you can do it on your own time and you can see the results? Or would you like to go through some of them?
I'll go through some of them because I won't do it on my own.
Okay. At least we're honest. Okay, get out of here. And then Nate just like up and left. All right, so I put it in an AP classroom, but I didn't assign it. Oh my gosh, what? Kelly Taylor. Oh, no, it's me. All right. Wrong number. Okay, obviously we're not going to do all of these, but I will find some good ones and we'll go over them because there's 25 of them. Okay, when 10-month-old Frances throws her toy out of sight, she looks to see where it falls. Developmental psychologists would say that Frances's behavior indicates that she has developed what?
Object permanent.
Because she's looking for it. She understands that the object still exists without her looking on it. Okay. Just give it a second to sink in before you shout out. Hotmet is allergic to dogs. While in the toy store, he sees a stuffed toy dog and has an allergic reaction. Hotmet's reaction to the toy best demonstrates the process of what?
Oh, I had to read the question again. So he sees the dog toy and has an allergic reaction.
Yes, because he's allergic to real dogs.
Is that possible?
I have seen fake flowers and started sneezing before.
Then it would be not.
It's not A. What else is it not?
E.
Okay.
It's not. Oh, general.
It's D. Yeah, this is just similar enough to give me the same reaction. It's just like this other bell sounds a lot like the other bell, and so I'm going to salivate. This dog looks a lot like my dog that makes me sneeze. In Mary Ainsworth's strange situation, infants who are classified as securely attached were more likely to do what? securely attached.
B.
Express happiness, express comfort, being comforted. Find a good one. Okay, little Andrea has just learned that robins are birds. She now sees a sparrow, points to it, and calls out bird. According to Jean Piaget, Andrea is showing the cognitive process of what? So we kind of skimmed over this earlier.
Assimilation.
How is that different than a combination?
I just remember. I don't know.
Okay, you are right. It is assimilation. Remember, there's schemas, assimilation, and accommodation. Schema is when like I have an idea about like I make a okay, we just had a test over like cognition. So like when you have a concept, like this is a bird. These are all things that fit in bird. Assimilation is when you basically like copy and paste that concept to everything. Like they're all flying things are birds. All flying are birds. That plane is a bird. That butterfly is a bird. I don't know. That leaf flying down, that's a bird too. A combination is when you like adjust your first concept. You mean, oh no, that's a plane. That's like a butterfly. Okay, I get those are all different concepts now. But the fact that she sees a sparrow, and that is actually, yes, that is her. She was right. That's why it's assimilation. She doesn't have to accommodate it. If she was wrong, then she might need to like accommodate it later. But yes, schema is the same thing as concept. It's just schema is Piaget's term for it. We're good here. Okay, which is the following best example of shaping? Shaping.
D.
Yes. What is the behavior that they're trying to get them to do?
Sit quiet.
Sit quietly.
Sit quietly. I'm going to need you to sit quietly for an hour. I can't have you sit quietly for an hour the first time. No kid can do that, but it's like, I'm going to get a reward until you get close enough. And then from then on, now you got to sit quietly for the, like over the long time. Okay, a dog retrieves a newspaper every day because in the past it received their food reward for this behavior. The dog's behavior is an example of which of the following?
Classically conditioned response.
He's doing it involuntarily.
Oh, wait.
Is that the same thing as salivating? Because he's
No.
getting a food
So it would
reward.
be A.
Right, it's not classical conditioning, it's operant conditioning. So he is like, the best answer here is like, why does it look so funny? It's just they're hiding the words. They're hiding the words to see if you can figure it out. Okay, let's do like one or two more. Oh, stop. Okay, just go. You do a good one. I hate everything. Oh, mother. Oh, that's long. Okay, this will be the last one since the board is like messing up. Which of the following did Erik Erikson say was the primary conflict in which a teenager needs to work?
Identity versus role.
Right. What about a young child, like a school-age child, like first grade? It's not up here.
It was the one that was like.
Industry versus individual.
What about someone like me who has children?
Next generation.
Yeah, generativity
Yeah.
versus stagnation. Yeah. Okay. Any last questions? You guys did a good job. You guys got your packets. Our next tutoring, today is Tuesday. Our next tutoring is this Thursday. It's going to be over. Let's see if the board works today. Oh my God, so annoying. All right, today's 27th. On Thursday, we're doing biological basis of behavior. That's going to be brain, sensation, perception. It's going to be states of consciousness and drugs. So here's this Thursday. Tomorrow I do eco, but Thursday is, and then after that we only have two more because there's a test.
Oh.
So this Thursday, Monday, and Wednesday.
Oh.
I know, it's coming up quick. So I'll see you guys later. Thanks for coming. Thanks for watching. Bye.
Thank you. Bye.